Join me and the Giant Totem as we discuss the Giants' first preseason game of the 2022 season. I have to confess, I watched the Giants' preseason game last night, and it is the first time I have thought about the Giants since the draft. Now, I did say that it really doesn't matter until the opening day, and it doesn't matter until the opening day, but I think it is appropriate now that we can have, we can get excited. Because you don't want to just, turn 1 o'clock on Sunday, September 12th or 11th or whatever it is, and get excited then. It's like, now we're hopeful. Because as the old expression is, everyone's undefeated on opening day. And unlike the last 4 years, and probably even longer than that, when we watched the Giants slowly decline, and I can pinpoint that to the year after they won the Super Bowl, and they were playing Pittsburgh at home. I happened to be at the game, and it was a strange game. It was a 4 o'clock game, but they did it for television purposes. And one of the bad things is Giants Stadium's close enough to Pittsburgh, so there was a lot of Pittsburgh fans there. And the people who travel to another team's stadium, they are the most voracious, the most stalwart of their fans. So I can't blame them for rooting for their team, but it's not pleasant to be around those kinds of fans from the other team. And there were some scuffles. Also, and it's one of the reasons why when I look about going to the game, it's just not as much fun as it used to be because they don't manage Giants Stadium very well, or MetLife Stadium very well, whatever you want to call it. I call it the place the Giants play because I don't want to worry about who's going to get the naming rights. But I did watch the game last night, and I did feel like, okay, there is some hope. The offensive line played pretty well, and the announcer said that. Sometimes when you're watching on TV, it's hard to see actual technique of the offensive lineman because they don't want to show that on the television, and that's a shame. But they did play well. They played better. They had more time. So we can hope for that. Their defense played better and had some signs of hope. So going into opening season, I think we're hopeful. They've got good linemen and better linemen, and they just seem to care. And that's something. Now, that's all I wanted to say. I want to say it's okay now to start to think about opening day and the Giants. And what should we do about it? Absolutely nothing. Just wait and enjoy it, because the summer's still going. So what would I say we should do? I'd say maybe watch some baseball. Baseball, the Mets and the Mets and the Yankees are doing pretty well. The Mets have had a surge as of late. And I am going to approach this season, because it's always exciting. There's something about the fall, and it's strange, because the fall is the end of the growing season, but in some ways it always seems like the beginning of the year. And that probably is because we're on an academic schedule, and football is probably the most satisfying of all the spectator sports. I'm going to say it is. I enjoy it the most. Basketball is too many games. Hockey is too many games. Baseball I think back before they had TV and you actually got to go to the game and that's how you experienced it. I think that was fine. It's a slow-moving game. So, I'm going to just be giving my opinions on things like the Giants, like other sports that I have ideas. We're going to even talk about football, the international football, or like we say, soccer. And if you're out there and you have comments, please send them to me. Over the last 2.5 years, this has been the way to begin a conversation, and maybe one can begin a conversation because, quite frankly, I'm tired of watching the people on television. They want to hear, they're very concerned about themselves. Now, here's the last note. Of the preseason games, why is it good to have preseason? Well, you need to see how the players perform. Also, I think the announcers need the preseason game. The announcers last night on the Giants game, they were missing a step. I think I caught them. They didn't even finish one of their sentences. So The announcers, you've got two. I think you got two more preseason games. Get at it so that when you're there on opening day, you're ready to be a part of the game and keep up with the game. I also think they purposely make the game seem slower in preseason because they don't want to get our hopes up too high. That's just a theory, and I'm going to be throwing out theories periodically as we go along, and we'll see where we go. You're going to see me and the totem, because my girlfriend got me this totem, Giants Stadium, and I thought, well, she got it for my birthday this year, and now the season's starting, so the totem is and you can tell the totem's a fierce totem, and so we're just going to be giving our opinions on all things sports, because I consider myself a reasonable fan, and I'm going to try to figure out what does it mean to be a reasonable fan. A reasonable fan, you want your team to win, but you're not going to obsess about it to the point where the rest of your life starts to get in the way. And I've been at times when, I've forgotten to call family members and friends because I was too into sports. And I think sports is it's a diversion, and it's a diversion to add to our lives, not take it over. So, till our next conversation, thank you kindly.